Lisa, I want to ask you to put on sort of both of the hats that you sometimes wear, which is both sort of legal expert and television producer, because I think there's a duality to this report, right? There's both the legal argument that they are going to be making, which sort of has one audience, and then there's the report for folks who may not have watched this breathlessly as you and I did. What do they need to do to satisfy the needs of those two audiences?
Ooh, that's a great question, Alicia. I think with respect to the legal audience, folks like me and also folks at the Department of Justice, you'll recall that Merrick Garland, before he appointed a special counsel, said he was watching those hearings diligently and would be alert to the findings of the committee. So they are looking to see the contours of any crimes, whether it's obstruction of justice, obstruction of Congress, even seditious conspiracy. People like me are going to be looking to see if there are within the report the building blocks of the elements of crimes. With respect to the general audience, you're right. There is another constituency here, and it was that constituency for whom some of these hearings were built. I'm hopeful that the report is digestible, that it's plain in its language, and that it's written in a format that the viewers who found the hearings compelling will also find compelling. That is, to tell a chronological story, but also put the report into the words of the people who experienced those events firsthand, who made the hearings themselves very compelling. People like Cassidy Hutchinson or Mark Short or Greg Jacob.
Those are the two that come to mind for me as well. I mean, the other thing I want to understand is we know the committee received a mountain of evidence from various individuals, from agencies. Can you sort of give us a sense of what's involved in releasing that information to the public?
Yeah, we know that the committee has received hundreds of thousands of pages of documents, and that includes everything from texts from phone companies and phone records showing who called who and when, to documents that came, for example, from agencies like the Secret Service, where even though the text messages were lost, hundreds of thousands of emails and other records reflecting contemporaneous conversations or communications between agents were there. I don't know what the committee's plan is going to be released with respect to releasing those. I do know that the thing that someone like me is most breathlessly awaiting is the actual transcripts. We've seen portions of these transcripts in various court filings that the committee has filed, for example, with respect to John Eastman, whose assertions of privilege they wanted to overcome. They attached to various motions, 5 pages here, 10 pages there. But I really want to see the entirety of the transcribed interviews with folks like Cassidy Hutchinson, Mark Short, Keith Kellogg, who is the vice president's national security advisor, Greg Jacob, who was his counsel. And then I also want to see the transcribed interviews with people who, against their best interest, gave some testimony to see how many times did those people invoke the Fifth Amendment. And where did they invoke the Fifth Amendment? Because that could give you a roadmap to where those people fear criminal exposure, people like Rudy Giuliani and Sidney Powell, for example.
Lisa, knowing that you're going to be reading all of those transcripts, I am making a mental note to make sure I send some ink cartridges to your home.